What is going on, YouTube and weight loss warriors? It's your boy C-Dub, and I'm back with another video. And today I want to give you 5 things that I still struggle with after losing 125 pounds. And if it's your first time clicking on these videos, I did that weight loss through an 11-month period of time of eating just one meal a day. It was maybe the greatest decision I've made in my life. And so that doesn't mean that it doesn't come without its struggles, though. And I think that's why I wanted to do this video. I wanted to let everybody know that I'm not, any different than anybody else. And I have my issues and struggles still to this day when it comes to weight loss and weight-related stuff. So I figured sharing that with you would help. Another thing is I got a lot of feedback when I mentioned a few hiccups that I've had along the way, with people saying that it helped them knowing that I struggled, that sometimes on my channel I do so much positivity and I've had such good success that I project that I did it without any trouble at all, and that you should too. And if you're having some hiccups along the way, then it makes you feel a little bit, out of place. So I want to let you know that I definitely had my struggles too. And my very first struggle, my number one struggle, is what I'm going to call body dysmorphia. And it's basically the understanding that I look differently than I see myself look. And that's a really hard thing. Whether we're talking about in my brain or actually looking in a mirror, I still see a 312-pound person. And it's very hard for me to not see that. And when I see the most that I've had great weight loss success is normally in pictures, and especially pictures with my family or people that I know their size, and when I'm standing next to them, I'm like, wow, you're really not overweight anymore. But it still hasn't gotten in my brain. I've read that that takes 10 years after weight loss for you to really see yourself for what you are now. And I actually did a test, and I don't have the results sitting here, but I think you guys could do it at home. See if you have a little bit of body dysmorphia too. And it's basically you take a piece of string and you say, well, you make a circle and you say, this is how big my waist is. And you guess how big your waist is. And then you put the string around your waist and you see what it is. And I'm going to tell you guys now, my waist, my thighs, my arms, everything on my body, my circle that I saw from my projection in my head was much larger than in reality when I did the measurement. And I have actually seen people that struggle with body dysmorphia do this same thing and actually keep the results and hang them up of what they thought they were, and then they'll put where their string is so they can see the string hang down. They'll make a circle out of what reality is, and they'll have a string hanging down showing them how many inches they were off, and they'll hang that in a room or something to show themselves that, hey, listen, you don't have to worry about it as much as you think you are. But that's a struggle for me. It really, really is. The number 2 thing I want to talk about today is a combo thing, and it's eating too fast and overeating. I sit down for an OMAD meal and I'm going at it. I'm going at it. I'm going at it. There's no stopping. I'm continuing to go, and then I'm done, and sometimes I feel like garbage after doing it. So I know that I need to slow down my eating, but it's a constant struggle. It's an in and out battle, and it's something that I don't want to feel bad after I eat. And, a couple of times a week, I seem to put myself in that situation. And so, not necessarily am I eating too many calories because I'm not packing on weight, but at the same time, I'm eating to a point where I don't feel comfortable anymore for the next, 30 minutes or an hour. And I don't want to do that. So that's a struggle that I'm dealing with daily also. Number 3, I reward myself with food. I touched on this a little bit in a video a couple of days ago, but it's just so truthful. I go out and I do something, I accomplish something, and this can be in any phase of my life. It can be a weight loss related goal. It could be a fasting length goal. It could be a work goal. It could be a wrestling goal. It could be a jiu-jitsu goal, a family goal. It could be anything in between where I've accomplished something. And my instant answer is, you've done a great job. So with your next OMAD meal, you should have some ice cream, or you should, go out and eat a candy bar, or whatever the case is. I tie something good with food. And that's a bad place to be for a couple of reasons. Number 1, it's obviously going to give you unnecessary calories, but it's also taking that food and putting it in a light where this food is something amazing. I'm rewarding myself with this wonderful thing, when in reality, this wonderful thing is literally killing me. This wonderful thing is literally adding weight to me. It's adding disease to me. It's been processed the wrong ways, and it's not something that I should be eating altogether. And I definitely, if I'm gonna eat it, should just eat it. It shouldn't be attached to something positive that I'm doing in my life. So that's a struggle. The remainder of 2020 and 2021, I would like to kind of fix that up and make it so that I'm not feeling like, hey, listen, I deserve this because I've done good. And the result of doing good should be enough for me to say, you know what, that was awesome. I'm proud of myself and move on with it. Number 4 thing here today is feeling like I have to help. And that may sound funny. I got a YouTube channel to help, right? That's why you're tuned in. That's what I'm trying to do for you as a viewer to my channel, is to help you. But at the end of the day, I see people in my regular life at work, at the CW when I walk, at wrestling tournaments, whatever the case has been throughout the time since I've lost weight, I see people that I feel like need my help. And these people can be very close to me, and sometimes they're even strangers that have just struck up a conversation. But I see them and I say, hey, and I want to project, hey, listen, you don't have to be overweight anymore. You can take control of your life. And it's really not my position to do that. There is the movement of health at every size and saying that there are people that are, just because they're overweight doesn't mean they're not healthy. And although you guys know that I don't necessarily think that that's true, I do think you can be healthy and overweight, but I don't think long-term you can be healthy and overweight. But it's really not my place to force my, knowledge onto somebody that doesn't need it, or doesn't need isn't even the word there, that doesn't want that information at that time. Because the number one way people are going to fail in their journey is starting it when they're not ready. And so I have to be patient and wait for people to come to me when they are ready for it. And sometimes they come a little early and we've got to wane it back, and they fail, and they've got to come back later when they truly have a place in their life in which they're ready to go and they're ready to make a change. So I have to be more patient, and it's something that I really, really struggle with. Number 5 struggle, you can call this a positive or a negative, but I grouped it today in the negative, although I think it has some positive traits to it. And one of the reasons why I'm super successful, but I put myself into a box. I put myself into an OMAD box. You can tattoo OMAD across my forehead. I never veer from it. I always do it. Yes, I adjust my window to whatever time of day fits me the best sometimes, but most of the time I'm consistent there too. I never, ever, ever do anything outside of it, and it really limits me to being able to do other things, or maybe finding niches that could work even better for me. I'm not sure that they're out there. I feel like if it's not broke, don't fix it kind of deal. But I do think that there are times in my life when I just wish I could feel like I was still in control and have lunch with a coworker and still have dinner with my family. You see, because in my brain, if I do that, I've lost control of my eating. And I don't think that that's healthy. Although it's the reason why I've had success, it's the reason why I sit here and I tell you consistency is number 1. But if you're able to be consistent 99% of the time and still be able to, change your window to a warrior here or there to fit in with a social engagement or to fit in with something that's going on in your life, I think it's a little bit more healthy of a relationship with food than maybe I have, where I'm like, absolutely no way. I will only eat one time in a 24-hour period, or in the period of that calendar day, if you will. And I think that, if you're able to do it, but do it with a little bit more flexibility than I have, it'd be a little bit better. So I put that on the list of things that I struggle with, because I really do feel like if I veer from this diet, I'm going to gain every pound I've ever lost back and then some. So that scares me to death and lets me stick right where I'm at. So I hope that all of that was helpful. I hope that you learned something from that. I know right here is a video that I think you'll learn a lot from, and over here is one that YouTube thinks you'll like. Click on one of those guys, and after you do that, click on my face and subscribe to this channel. It's right there. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being a weight loss warrior. Peace.